Using GPS, these trails represent pizza delivery in Manhattan on a typical Friday night. And is
Man, that grid is the definition of anxiety. That grid, New York, congratulations, anxiety central of the world. Actually, funny, reminds me of a time went up there after college in New York, in Manhattan, got lost in Manhattan. It's a grid system, so I don't know how I got lost. That's really telling of myself, isn't it? But not the point. I did get lost. I guess I should tell you actually the scenario at hand. I wasn't lost on the road or in a cab or anywhere. There was no cell phone. I had a cell phone. Other people didn't have a cell phone. I was with a group of people. We were in a van. I stepped out of the van, started walking. I'm lost. Again, grid system. And I see you New Yorkers looking at me and judging me. I don't care. I saw Broadway. It's funny. I saw Broadway. I walked right up to the Empire State Building. Macy's. Was it Macy's?
Is this a frog or a horse? It's episode 52 of IMG. This lemon looks yellow to me, and it probably looks yellow to you as well, but not in the same way. You see, here in this room, this lemon is subtractively yellow. It absorbs all visible wavelengths of light except for yellow light, which it reflects onto my retina.
It's always amazing to me when I find things like this. Like, how do we know this information? Somebody studied long nights and days and put all of this information together so that we could watch it on YouTube and sound smart when we tell our friends. I read this book. This is kind of an adjacent topic, but I read this book. It's called The History of Everything. God damn it. Brief History of Everything. And it's kind of like that. So what it does is it goes from the beginning of time to where we are right at the time of the book. And everything in between, what happens, and once we hit mankind, it starts telling us the story of people that we don't realize are so important throughout history, because people get lost to the annals of time, unless you study in that realm.
But the screen that you are using to watch this video doesn't produce yellow light at all. In fact, it can only produce red, blue, or green light. The really cool but kind of disturbing thing about this is that...
But then when we go down this road, I mean, what exactly is color anyway? It's kind of just our mind just putting together puzzles, as it always does. But then there's another road that you go down if you start going down that road, which is the road of, well, what exactly is real anyway? Because our mind just puts together crap to make things make sense. That was unnecessarily aggressive.
Here in the room, I am actually seeing real yellow light, but you are seeing fake yellow. Absolutely no yellow is coming off of your screen and falling on your retina. But it still looks yellow because it's quite easy to lie to the brain. Our retinas contain 3 different types of cone cells that are receptive to color, and each one is best suited to detect a certain color. One is great for blue, the other is great for green, and the third is great for red. Notice that there's no individual cell looking for yellow. So the way we actually see yellow happens like this. The wavelength of yellow light falls between the wavelengths of red and green. And so when an object reflects yellow light onto your retina, both the green and the red cones are slightly activated, which your brain notices and says, well, that's what happens when something's yellow, so it must be yellow. All a computer monitor or a mobile phone screen has to do to make you think you're seeing yellow is send a little bit of red and a little bit of green light at you. As long as the pixels and the little sub-pixels on them are small enough that you can't distinguish them individually, your brain will just say, well, I'm receiving some red.
So all those people out there who yellow is their favorite color, how do you feel about yellow not being relevant anymore? It's not even real. It's like Puff the Magic Dragon. Live by the goddamn sea.
And some green, that's what yellow things do. It must be yellow. Even though it actually is not. Lemons can also produce electricity. A little bit of zinc, a little bit of copper, and boom, you're moving electrons around. But not that many. I mean, the current and voltage are quite low. You could run an LCD, but even a potato could do that. If you wanted to run a flashlight bulb, that would take 3,000 lemons. And if you wanted to run a halogen bulb, well, that would take 37,000 lemons. But artist Caleb Sharland doesn't care. He spent 11 hours hammering nails into 300 living apples hanging on trees. By connecting them to a household lamp, he was able to make it glow just dimly enough to capture this image with a 4-hour exposure.
Wow.
Less alive and more frightening are Steve Shaheen's sculptures, little dudes with bulb heads desperately trying to plug themselves in. Merv Karaman's Revitalizer never dies. It's a light bulb surrounded by wax. Now the wax melts because of the light bulb's heat and drips into a special container into all kinds of weird new shapes. But whenever you want, you can just flip it so that the new cooled wax is at the top. But my favorite is the Fukasada wooden light bulb. It looks like a solid block of wood, but it's actually hollow and chipped to a nearly paper-thin width. When you turn it on, you can see the light.
One, I don't like that at all. I would break that so fast. You know how fast I'd break that? Soon as I purchased it. Brought it open it. Oh, God. 2, I like the wax. It looks messy, looks gross. Also, intriguing. Where do I purchase this, Amazon?
Coming from inside. Combos. Artist Tang-Yo Hung blew my mind this week. We've got clear days and smoke, boats and crocs, whales and hearts, pie bike, brains and boxing gloves, day and night. But don't be scared, you can always paint yourself some light, or just swing on some light. Okay, let's frame it this way: climbing wall. This fitness club in Japan uses frames and other pretty interior elements to create a decidedly less rugged climbing wall. But let's get simple, like minimal. Thanks to Lego, here are their bricks arranged to represent famous characters. Enjoy.
Oh, Bert, Ernie, Simpsons. Smurf. South Park.
Now for some art. Illusions. Here's a cute couple, but can you see in this very same image the baby they will soon have? Or how about these zebras? There's a lion hiding amongst them. Can you find it? Billboards can be clever, but here's a great one that makes it look like someone is pushing out a section of the building. But how many of you will remember seeing it? If we assume that you don't remember experiencing major cultural events before you're 5 or 6 years old, that means that every year there are fewer and fewer people alive who remember experiencing recent historical events.
Right.
XKCD made this amazing chart to show when, in the future, the majority, more than half of living Americans will not remember being alive when certain things happened. For instance, he calculated using data from the US Census Bureau that 2012, this very year, is the first year in American history since in which fewer than half of living Americans remember being alive in the 1970s. By 2041, most of us won't remember a time when Pluto was actually called a planet. By 2043, most of us alive won't remember living.
What does this prove? Time is not your friend. And go do your thing because nobody cares. You're going to be stardust one day. And nothing that you have ever done is going to mean a damn thing. I feel like I'm Captain Bring Down today.
During George W. Bush's presidency. And by 2047, more than half of living Americans will not have been alive to have remembered anything that you did today. Like when you made that funny face in the yearbook. No, that funny face. If you're not following Tweetsauce, you are missing out on daily Vsauce content, most of which never makes it to a video. So go follow us on Twitter, and I'm gonna leave you with another combo. A tessellation while you listen to Jake Chudnow's Flan. He made a music video for this song over on his channel, so check that out. And, as always,
Thanks for watching. So, I didn't know what I was getting into in there. I thought this whole thing was about the yellow. He subtly went into several other subjects, and I was like, oh, wait, what the hell happened to yellow? I mean, it was about yellow for the first, the opening act. Second and third act had nothing to do with goddamn yellow. That was pretty cool. You know what all these science reactions always do to me? You know it. I mean, if you've been here long enough, if you check out some of my other material, I get freaked out whenever I start thinking about time or how little we are or how much we know or little we know or how we manipulate things in the whole universe of things. So it's not really what you see. Time is not really what it is. And if you'd like to continuously watch me be delightful and bring down everyone's spirits, hey, there's some other reactions that I have up above. Please grab those reactions. And also like and subscribe. I swear I'm not always so this. All right, thank you.